Hello, it's another beautiful time of RelationSHIFT. I'm glad to have you join me today for this edition. Thank you so much. Today, I want to ask you to take care of 3 areas of your life. Number 1, don't isolate yourself. Number 2, do not allow others to isolate you. And number 3, don't allow the devil to isolate you. These 3 things are what I'm going to be focusing on very briefly today. Many times, God wants to do things in your life, but you don't allow yourself to be in God's program. Whatever God intends to do in your life, He's going to do it in the company of other people who are in your life. You can't stand alone and expect God to do things with you. So God intends your life to be shared, because isolation will limit your growth. Isolation will limit your growth in life. The only time isolation feels attractive is when you want to feel independent. You want to live your life all by yourself. That is the only time you feel like isolation is fine. You just want to be by yourself. You don't want anybody disturbing you. You don't want to fit in with people. But in the long run, isolation will leave you out. It makes you stand alone in life. It doesn't allow you to enjoy the company of men, the blessing of people. And so, I will say this: there are 3 stages in life. The stage of dependence, independence, and interdependence. God does not intend anyone to end up in the state of independence. Anytime that you feel that, this isolation is fine because you are independent, it's not God's plan for your life, and it won't end well. Most of the time, it doesn't end well. The stages of dependence, independence, and interdependence. Dependence means that, that stage when you are born into a family, everything you need is provided by your parents. Everything you ever need is given by your parents. They supply the food you need. They pay for your school fees. Where you live is by them. Everything is provided by them. That's dependence. But that's not how you're going to live the majority of your life. In fact, that time of your life is just probably maybe 1/3 or 1/4 of your life. The next stage after that is independence. That is the time you want to feel like, maybe by now you are now a graduate. You can decide your job. You can decide your spouse. You can decide where you want to live. And your parents, you don't want your parents interfering in all of that decision. That is independent. But I'm telling you, that is not what God desires for anyone. God wants us to live in interdependence. He wants us to live interdependent of each other. He wants you to be in the company of someone, somebody being in your company, somebody contributing to your life, you contributing to someone's life. He wants you to live in company of other people so that you can share life together. God intends your life to be shared with others. He wants you to live in the company of other people. So these 3 take home I want to take today. Number 1, don't isolate yourself. Don't isolate yourself. Share your life with other people. Don't live all by yourself. You need to live within a family, within a church circle, within a community, within a workspace, wherever you find yourself. Share your life with other people. Don't live life all alone, thinking that is what God intends. That's not what God intends. God wants you to share your life with other people. Don't isolate yourself. Don't run away from people. You need to come genuinely to embrace people who love you, people who want to share their life with you. You need to embrace them as well. I know people who have quit church. They quit church because they feel like, someone offended them. Not filled with people that will just be kind as they expected, and so they quit church. But that's not God's desire. God's desire is that we will keep getting better as we stay together, as we build, as we stay within the community and build together. Number 2, don't let anyone isolate you. Don't let anyone isolate you. That also is as important as you not isolating yourself, and don't also allow someone else to isolate you. And this is especially true for people who are in either marital relationships, or you are planning to get married, or you're already married. You can get married to someone who would start trying to look for a way to separate you from everyone else in your family. If a person wants to destroy you, what they do is to simply isolate you from everyone else. And this is very popular or very known in marital relationships. You want to get married to someone, or you're already married to them, and then they try to look for means to separate you from your family, from your parents, from your siblings, from your workplace, from your friends in life, from your church people, from your pastor. They just want you to be, don't relate with people. Don't just stay with me alone. Just stay with me alone. That person is trying to isolate you. And the whole idea of this is that once they isolate you, they can deal with you. Once they isolate you, they can own you. When they isolate you, they can abuse you. Because at that point, there's nobody to report yourself to. There's nobody to report him to. They don't have someone in their life. You don't have someone in your life. It's just the two of you. So they isolate you to destroy you. I've seen that story play out in several scenarios. For example, there was a young lady who was engaged to a guy. This guy was doing everything he could to separate this young lady from the family, from friends. This lady was in school. This guy would expect the girl to come to his house every weekend. In fact, at some point, he didn't want her to go to school anymore. Just stay with me in this house. The whole idea is just keep her away from everybody else. So the girl was not communicating with family members and all of that. And she felt good. She felt she found a man, she found love and all of that. But that is not love. That's someone who is going to destroy her. Eventually, the guy started beating the lady. But she could not report to anyone, of course, because nobody else was in her life at that point. There was nobody to report herself to. There was nobody, there was no church, there was no pastor, there was no family, there was no parent, there was no sibling, there was no community friends and all of that. It was just about her. So do not give anybody the permission to isolate you, because once they isolate you, they're about to start abusing you. And number 3, do not allow the devil to isolate you. Once the devil has a foothold of you, has the privilege to isolate you, set you aside from everybody else. You are in company of people, and your company is your fighting team. Your company is your winning team. Once the devil makes you stand all by yourself, he's finished you already. Nobody can pray along with you. Nobody can fast along with you. Nobody can support you. Everybody that was in your life, the devil has made you cut off from them. He has made you fight with them. Once that happens in your life, you've lost it. The devil has won over you because he doesn't have to fight too much. Why? Because he already got everybody else who loved you to leave you alone. It's all about you now. Do not give the devil the chance to destroy you, because no one is allowed to fight alone in life. Nobody is expected to fight alone. Nobody is expected to win alone. Nobody is supposed to do anything alone. It is not good that a man should be alone. I will give him a help suitable for him. You want to win in life, you need to do this in the company of people. So let me close again by saying these 3 things. Don't isolate yourself. Do not give anybody the permission to isolate you, and do not let the devil isolate you. Till I come your way again, see you next week. Thank you so much.